In a matter of seconds during a summer evening last August, Bobby Lopez says his life changed as an undercover NYPD officer tackled him down steps and slammed him into the sidewalk at the entrance to his apartment building. You held the door for them.
Yes. And after that, they found me.
Mic check, 1, 2, mic check.
Lopez says he doesn't remember anything about the arrest, but this surveillance video captured the incident, showing the suddenness and force behind the officer's takedown of Lopez.
For someone to overcome the situation that I came, at one point I was in a wheelchair thinking that I wasn't even going to be able to ball again. Being able to do what I love, being able to rap on the mic, being able to show love. It feels good. It was hard though. Check. You can't live this life. Walking in these shoes, you might trip. I give a fuck. Probably smoke some weed and take a trip. Niggas catch me out in different states. Probably with your bitch. Niggas always on the cameras, always trying to take the flicks. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Got a father that's locked up. Still sending no letters. Let me tell you about my life now. Yeah, nigga getting better. Yeah, nigga counting cheddar. Yeah, nigga doing life. Give a fuck what a nigga say. My life ain't got no price. Bobby Wolf. He that nigga. He that artist. He the one that always hold his head up and try to make the best out of any situation. I'm a survivor. That's what makes Bobby Wolf different. Like, I almost died. I had 101 excuses why I should give up. Why I could just fall back and just do nothing. I ain't used none of those reasons. I just kept trying to fight to be who I am. I'm from Harlem. I grew up in Johnson Projects. I lived there like majority of my life till I turned about like 12, 13. To Florida for a few months, came back to Harlem. Then I moved downtown, Chelsea area, Fulton Projects. I got hit in the head. I do not remember. That was long ago. Nah, that was long ago. I don't remember them early years. Elementary days, home. It was just an average life. I grew up with brothers, but my brothers, they're older brothers, so you already know they leave out the nest. They still show face, but they ended up leaving. So it was really like me and my mom alone for like a lot of the times. Brothers always came back around, but it was just me and mom really. So it's like I was kind of like the only child, but I still had the guidance of my brothers. There's one friend of mine. He was like my only friend at the time, because not a lot of people fucked with me. I was really outspoken, and some people may call it annoying, but staying true to who I am. I'm not going to change for nobody just because you don't like me. But that one individual stood and was still my friend. And he is to this day. So I remember days like that growing up with him actually fighting because people didn't like me. People trying to set me up, and he's actually holding my back, making sure nothing goes wrong. You could tell by the way a person dressed, and you could already know he's from Harlem. You know what I mean? Bronx, similar. That's what we categorize it as uptown. Because you know the Bronx is up. I just know that Queens is look like suburbs at some point. You go there, you just see nothing but houses compared to a city life where you see nothing but tall buildings, nothing but tall projects and stuff. I wouldn't know the full roots of Brooklyn. For what I know, Brooklyn is already getting gentrified. I see Brooklyn looking completely different than what I see in history, like certain rap, like when Jay-Z was coming up, you know, the other Brooklyn rappers. Staten Island, that's like a whole nother part of the, that's like a whole nother island. Shit, you need to take a boat to get there. Manhattan's what is that? Feel me? Like, shit. You come to Manhattan to make money. Feel me? Shit's expensive out here. You come out here, you can actually get a little flip out here. Sell something that's cheaper, that you can get uptown, and downtown go up the price. I moved out of Harlem at that point. I was going to Florida, then I came back. I ended up being in Fulton. Fulton is where I did my high school at. High school, I went to high school of hospitality management in 50th Street, West Side. Let me tell you how I'm feeling like a G. Why niggas never really ever approaching me. And if they do, don't they know that I'm walking with heat? I'm spitting it too, nigga, best in the crew. And let me tell you why I'm saying this is something to you. And every time that I'm coming, yeah, spitting the truth. I give a fuck what they saying, cause I know what they do. And let me tell you how I came back, making the booth, killing shit up in the coop. I can honestly say before my injury, I was just another teen living in New York, living his life, doing high school, doing what I gotta do. Had this little relationship issue I was doing. Fell in love with 2 girls at one point, part of a whole complicated situation. I don't know, made music about it called Double Dutch. And I was honestly young. And then the accident happened to me. And on top of that, it's like forgetting a lot of things, trying to put pieces together, and then still trying to build yourself up to do what you was doing. So all of that together, on top of trying to recover, it was tough. So it's just from a normal life to like me being a father right after brain injury, which is like tough too, arguing with my baby mother, thinking I'm not physically capable of taking care of my daughter. And I mean, I don't hold it against her. Shit, I had a piece of my skull removed. I was in a wheelchair at one point. I'd be concerned too with the newborn. A lot of life-changing shit happened to me in high school. Like, you live and learn. And at that point, you know, make mistakes in high school, but then you're young, so you just learn not to do it as you get older. That's where I started like showcasing my art. I was like breaking out of my shell. I was always drawing in sketchbooks, painting on canvases. At one point, I even got into tattooing. Like that tattoo I did on myself at one point when I was a teenager.
Yo,
that's the E.
All the way in the camera.
Yeah. That's the E, I did that. All my brothers got that E, and that E is for my mother. Love you, Mom. Growing up in Harlem was a little difficult, feeling like the outcast. You feel me? Being like the only one out. So I kind of went into high school with a rah-rah energy, like, if you ain't fuck with me, I don't give a fuck it. Like, you know, I'm gonna be who I am. That wasn't really a good thing either, because, you know, not anybody likes a rah-rah person, but in high school, I had a few friends that stuck around, you feel me? Some that still here today, some that you see true colors and the guy cut them off. I was playing ball, loved basketball. Basketball helped me meet some of the friends that I still fuck with today. First love, we ended up having a baby as time went along. Unfortunate things happened, you know, that we separated, but we still co-parenting good now. It was a little rocky road, but I can honestly say it's smooth now. As a father perspective, girls walking around in the streets, I would even try to turn my head because I look at it like that's somebody's daughter, you know what I mean? I'd be more cautious with women now. I give women a lot more respect, especially that I got daughters now, and I want my daughters to grow up in a nice world. And like, from a nigga like me, that I used to be hollering like, yo, mom, what's good? Like, yo, how you doing, beautiful? Like, sometimes I can make a girl uncomfortable. Imagine my daughters having to go deal with that. It was a normal summer day, getting right. I know I was high, and I know I was trying to play ball. That's a regular lifestyle for me, so that's exactly how it went down. Linking up with my brother, telling him to take my dog upstairs so I can go play ball. I'm holding the door for like, I ain't know, I'm high. Like, niggas is just running. White man, glasses, hat. I'm high, I don't know any better. Like, I'm not doing nothing wrong either, so I'm just thinking he coming in, trying to get the door, so I'm holding the door. And then just lights out. Like, what the fuck? Seeing the videos and shit. If they would have stopped me and asked me like, yo, this, that, third, like, yo, what's up? Like, I would have spoke. You wanna lock me up here, arrest me. Like, they really tackled me. Like, I didn't even know they was police. You know what I mean? And that's weird too. Why would I run from cops? Like, alright, everybody probably scared or whatever. Like, I didn't even know they were cops. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm running. Like, what I do remember is someone grabbing me. I'm like, yo, like, I do remember like somebody grabbing me. I feel like I snatched my hand back and just lights out. Like, but isn't they supposed to address you? Like, yo, we're NYPD, stop, like, none of that. I ain't really had no crazy experience with them. Never really did. Like, it's weird. Like, growing up in Harlem where you expect cops to be everywhere, a lot more craziness uptown. But for me to get violated downtown, shit's still weird to me to this day. Like, recently driving down states and shit, like seeing Confederate flags and shit. Like, for all I know, some of the Confederate flag homes or homes to some officers and shit like that. The cops be intimidated by black men. I feel like they intimidated by someone that's in the projects. They discriminate us. They look at us as aggressive, probably rowdy and shit like that. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, you're a pussy with a gun. So that's the first reaction, like, you know what I mean? And now you walking in groups, so you feel tough. Makes you different than a gang, you know what I mean? Y'all rolling deep. I don't know, weird. I'm Puerto Rican. Grew up in projects. I grew up in Harlem. Crackheads on corners. I grew up with like drug dealing going around. Niggas like gang banging, like I seen guns and shit. I never had an interaction with police.
That's pretty crazy. So you made it out of, in all of those neighborhoods, made it to that age, you had no interaction with police until it was damn near almost fatal.
Crazy, bro. Got a ticket for hopping the train, but shit.
That's some weird shit now.
Yo, let me tell you some weird shit, like some weird shit some cops said. I'm with my mother, young. I go under. The cops tell me, don't do that, you one of us. Like, what the fuck? Like, what does that mean? Like, cause I'm light skinned, like, I mean, I didn't have my taxes this time, and like, my mother go behind me, like, she's like, what do you mean by that? One of us, like, and they just stood quiet and shit, and then brushed it off, and we just continued, so it's like, that's weird. Since young, I've always been polite, well-mannered, and shit, like, holding the doors, for instance, project door when I was young, I had a hernia from holding the door when I was a kid, like probably 4. So that's just the niceness in me. But sometimes being too nice gets you caught up. You live the wrong, sometimes in the life you gotta make the turn. Different bitches in the sea, fish is gonna catch the worm. Let me tell you how I did it, tell you how I did it, got you blow. Yo, I switched up, switching on my bitches like my sneakers. I switched up, coming over here with different reefer. I switched up, always pass my grades with my teachers. The high grade, the smoking all this good shit, preachers. Yeah, I ain't kill you with the grabber, right?
Nah.
Shit, come on.
You rolling up again? Man, Wolf Khalifa right here.
I can outsmoke these niggas, I ain't gonna lie. I could smoke. I could get high. I get higher than the average nigga. Like, Snoop can smoke 1 blunt, get high. I'll smoke that 1 blunt, and I'll get high. Shit, imagine having brain surgery and smoking some bud. You really be on the moon. I know the negatives of weed, and sometimes you just gotta focus. And weed might be the distraction, so you gotta put that to the side to get what you gotta get done. Yo, bro, your fucking corner store got weed now, ain't that some shit? But don't be trusting that. Like, I'm seeing folks on my block exposed, like they putting the weed in water and that shit, the water changing colors and shit. Like, you gotta be careful where you cop from. Stores have bullshit, like, and that's sad. You remember a lot of the bad stuff, but I do remember some of the good. It comes here and there. Sometimes I get certain memories, like, wow, like, oh shit, I remember this, that, third. I'm like, alright, that's cool. It's not about the past now at this point. It's more about what I'm doing now for the future. I gotta build an empire so my kids could be good, so my kids' kids could be good. Imagine living with the fact that you know your head not the same. You were sent home without your skull. You had another surgery to put your skull back. But you can't put your skull back the way it was. This shit not no glue. It's stitched up like that. I have to live with that every morning. I have to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and see that. That shit really drives me crazy. But I put all that to the side and still get up, write about it, write about the pain I'm feeling, write about everything in a creative way to show expression, and it relieves me. Cause I go through a lot of moods personally. Like, I'll get mad, I'll get sad, I'll start feeling down. But then there's always that part of me that always tells me I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta not fall into these demons trying to bring me down. Art is my way to feel good. Art is my way to express the negative feelings. Communication and expressing is one key way to relieve. Me, I stutter when I talk sometimes. So me making it in the song, it'd be easier to say. Me rapping in the freestyle gives it more of a natural feeling of how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. I mean, mental health, it's a lot of different forms. I got diagnosed with PTSD. So I get flashbacks here and there. I do. I have to get mood swings too. I get angry. I find myself angry over little things, but it's always that conscious in the back of my head telling myself that was the injury that's making me out like that. It's weird because I looked at side effects after the craniotomy. They say increased temperament and stuff like that, and I don't want to have the injury define me. I want to be as me as I can possibly be. How I'm gonna take care of a kid as a father, not having a father figure in your life, that's just scary. Like, making sure you're doing the right things, and how would I know it's the right things if I ain't really have guidance seeing it? And it's tough, because even growing up, like, friends around me, we ain't really have father figures either, so what is it to see when we was just raised by a strong woman in our life? So being a young father had me on stilts. I was shaky, just trying to make sure I do everything right. And then at the end of the day, you don't. No one does everything right. But the fact that I try and I'm there for my kids, that's what makes me feel good, and I know that I'm doing everything right. Living with headaches, I can't make this shit up. Yeah, living my life, I couldn't sit up. I'm looking my life, I'm doing real better. I'm saying fuck cops, just give me my cheddar. I need me my bread, grill that. Need me a sandwich, nigga was hungry and I hope that you feel that.